What's up? It's Djinn Beezle. Alright, I'm gonna be talking about some experiences I've had in my life. I was listening to George Nori, Coast to Coast, and a thing popped in my head, and it was related to the video I did with the Dover Demon. I'll put the reference, the link to that radio show, to that call it episode or whatever, Coast to Coast, that program. And you'll see what I'm saying, because obviously you're gonna see that this is after the fact, where you realize that certain things that happen to you are fucking real. I knew it was real, but when other people say it happened to them, it makes it more real for you. Now it becomes like an involvement. And what they talked about was certain feelings. It wasn't really particular to mine, but it made sense. Certain feelings that you feel before something paranormal happens, or things you feel while paranormal things happen. And I'm just gonna talk about 4 different things, and hopefully I can remember those 4 different things. I don't have any notes or anything. This is all, it is what it is. The first thing is related to the Dover Demon. When I seen what I seen, there was definitely an internal, something affecting me internally, mentally, subconsciously, consciously, emotionally, everything. It suppressed me. It made me feel okay. I believe that certain things stick with you your whole life, and when you see them, it's almost like a reflection. It's super paranormal. It's almost like interdimensional. It's almost like your familiar self in a spirit world that's connecting with you at that time. Like, now I'm starting to realize, like, maybe that was like me in another dimension. Like, I was experiencing this. But I know, as crazy as it sounds, it makes sense, because there's a reason why people are seeing these things. Anyway, there was another time, okay? I was at Willowbrook Park in New Britain. Okay. And, me and, again, my friend Jay, by the way, we're like spiritual brothers, man. We used to do all types of druidic rituals and shit. Like, man, like, you have a best friend that drinks with you and does rituals with you, like druidic and pagan and all that stuff. Like, like a brother that's there for you, but like at the same time spiritually involved. Like, could be anybody, man. Shit, people seek that stuff all the time. But what I'm saying is he's always there when something happens. And this one night, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was very bad. We were having a couple beers, And I know you're gonna be like, "Oh, it's consistent. Every time they drink beers, some shit happens." No. These are the type of things that overwhelm your senses. I happened to walk over to a certain section of the park to take a piss behind a tree, and what I felt was horrible. It was like a cloud, an invisible cloud. It was cold. It felt like death. It was horrible. I can't describe it. I said it in a non-literal sense. I can't describe it, but you'd have to be there. It felt like I had walked into this area where it was just no life. Cold. And it was strong. It was fucking strong. And it's like you walk 15 feet. And it just kind of goes away. I walked back. It was there. And I felt this presence. And I said, fuck out of here. Another thing I want to talk about is something happened to me. I think I was like 14 or 15. There's another anomaly called black dogs. Alright? And what happened is I didn't know about this phenomenon. And I started reading about it after, just coincidentally. In a book, well, in books like this. It's a very old book. It's called The Unexplained. Okay? So old I had to duct tape the fucking book to bind it. But this is my, what I call, let me get it there, paranormal Bible. And this fucking thing is insane. As you can see, it's somewhat pictorial, not all the way. This is about the Yowie. This is the last chapter because it's a Y. And there's pages missing, but you can see, perfect example. You read about it, there's the references, and every once in a while I'll show you a picture. Interesting book. That book has got me through a lot of things in my life. The bus ride down here, all kinds of shit. Anyway, my experience was, I was riding down the Berlin Turnpike on my bike, and on the left side there's like a dip down, there's a field. And these two black dogs with no collars, and they were pretty big. I mean, I'm going to say about 90 pounds apiece. Just came at me. Started running towards me. And there was nobody there. I mean, there's woods and shit. And then there's an opening. And there's a big hill that goes up. And then you get on the Berlin Turnpike. I mean, I can probably send you a Google Earth fucking picture or some shit like that. And I just kept riding faster, and I heard them bark, and they were so loud, and then all of a sudden I turned around, they're gone. And I said, yo, black dogs. And then I read about it, and it could be a good omen or a bad omen. I don't really remember if it was good or bad after that, but I had a lot of fucked up shit happen to me in my life, and, you know, it's one of those things. Another thing, very recently, about 3 months ago, I think it's like 3 months ago, I live off of Shell Point, in Charlotte, North Carolina, and there's a street called Gray Bridge Road. Now, there's a lot of really big vultures around here, very big. There's all kinds of shit around here, but this one time, right, I'm fishing, over by Gray Bridge Road, in one of those little estuaries there. They're brackish water. You know, you catch all different types of shit there. And that day, I had seen 4 or 5 vultures or hawks or whatever. And you see them all the time. They're going around and looking. That's a really good area where a lot of people hit a lot of deer. Well, this one time, I'm sitting there, I'm fishing, and I hear a helicopter, like a military helicopter. My instinct is to look back and see what it looks like. So I look up, and I see the helicopter, and all of a sudden my eye catches something. Now, this is fucking way up there, but it was about that far away. If I would have looked up and seen the helicopter, and I took a distance with my finger, it was about that far away from the helicopter. Something behind the helicopter, following the helicopter. I said, what the fuck is that? And it broke away. The helicopter kept going, and it broke away. And as it went around, I realized it's a fucking huge ass bird. I mean, this thing had to have a 10 to 12 foot wingspan. I've seen a golden eagle before. I might do a blog about that up in Massachusetts off the Connecticut River. This thing was fucking way bigger. And them golden eagles are bigger than the vultures and hawks I've seen down here. And like I said, I had measurement. I just didn't have video. You know, I've seen those birds flying around all day, and compared to those birds, this thing is fucking huge. And I remember it was when it came around, and it kind of just did this dive thing. I said, holy shit. The closer it got, and even though it was very far away, I said, it's got to be 4 to 5 feet tall. And people have told me about owls down here that are like 4 feet tall, sitting on the fucking ground. And I called Jay up and I told him, and he's like, holy shit. I mean, this thing was probably a lot bigger than a 12-foot wingspan, but I don't know. If you view this and you have any other related experiences, this is like my Project X blogs, really, but on this channel. I like to hear people's stories and shit, and I'll put the cam reference on there. Well, it's called cam to cam, coast to coast. I'll put that reference down there, and I'll try to get a Google Earth picture of where the black dog sighting was, and maybe even the Great Bridge sighting. Until then, alright, peace.